So, what's up, everybody? This is Terrence Warren, Cisco to the God once again. And I know it's been a while since my last video, but I have been studying to renew my CCNA exam. My CCNA expired back in maybe during COVID. My CCNA and my CCNP. So, um, for job's sake, I had to renew it. And since it's been expired for a couple years, I had to take the test all over again. So while I was studying, that's when I started my CCNA series of lab videos. So I attempted to take it, and I failed because the CCNA now is a lot harder than it was when I took it back in 2016. So I took some time, learned more of the labs, learned just some more sections of the CCNA, and I retook the exam this past Friday, and I don't know if you can see that, but I got a pass right here. So now, one of the labs I got was an OSP lab, which I've done an OSP lab video on this channel before previously, but the lab I got was OSPF, but it was different. So what I want to tell you is that if you learn the concepts, then if they change the numbers, you can still do the labs, right? As long as you grasp the concepts, you know what the labs do, what the protocol is supposed to do, then if they change the numbers, you can still do the lab because the process is the same as long as you know how to do it. So if the IP address changes or protocol or autonomous numbers change, you can still do the lab. So I want to demonstrate one of the labs that I got for the seat. I have the packet version of said lab. So I'm going to pull it up and we're going to go through it. So this lab is called the Allowed Native VLAN and LACP lab, right? So to demonstrate what we do in this lab, we've got 4 multi-layer switches. We're going to jump into this first switch. All right. Well, let's move this off. I'm going to move my camera off. All right. So we're in the first multi-layer switch. And we're going to get to the command line. All right. And what we need to do is we're going to grab the first 2 ports with a range command. That range command will be interface range, which is telling the switch that I want both of these ports at the same time. Interface range, interface 0, 1, and 2. We're checking the first port and the second port. Enter. And we want to name our allowed VLANs. Okay, so switch port trunk. I'm just going to put T. Allowed VLAN 56 and 77. Now, there were instructions. I probably should have went over those. But I remember specific these numbers. Like I said, they can change the numbers because on another lab, these aren't the same numbers that they use. But on this lab, these are the numbers that they use. So just grasp the concept and continue to follow along. So we're going to use VLAN allow 56 and 77. Right? Enter. And now we're going to go and interface FA 0 slash the first port, since we just had it. We still got it. But now we need to just the first port so we can issue a native VLAN. And a native VLAN is 99, since that's like the limit. All right, so we're gonna grab the first port and configure a native VLAN of 99. So once again, switch port trunk. T native VLAN 99. All right, and now we have to do this on the second switch too. The very same procedure on the first two switches. So, all right, let's come over here to switch 2. Enable. Config T. Interface range. Once again, we're going to grab these first 2 ports. Switch port. Trunk. Allowed VLAN. 56 and 77. Now, interface port 1. Switch port. Trunk. Oop. Native VLAN 9. Oh, I've got all caps. I accidentally hit all caps, but I wonder if it still would have took though. You know? So switch port trunk native VLAN right now. All right. So now we're gonna go into switch 3 and 4 because there's an ether channel there that we have to configure. As you see, these two ports 10 and 11, is where our ether channel is. So we need to create an ether channel. So we're going to start with switch 3. All right. Config T. Oh, oops. Config T. And we're going to interface port 2 first. Interface port 2. And we're gonna allow the same VLANs that we did on switch 1 and 2. So the first command is switch port trunk allowed VLAN 56 37. Right now we're gonna grab those 2 ports for the ether channel. So interface range and it's ports 10 and 11. 10 and 11. Channel group. Oops, channel group. 34. Mode active. All right, so now the first side of our ether channel is configured. So we're gonna save the config. Don't forget to save the config because that is in the instructions. Save the config. So I'm gonna do right mem and it's saved. And I got to go back and save the kid and sort switches 1 and 2 also. All right, so let's go to switch 4. Now remember, we have to do the same thing that we just did in switch 3. Config T. All right, interface FA0/2. That is port 2. Switch port shrunk. Allowed VLAN 56,77. Or interface range 10 and 11. 10 and 11. Channel group. Channel group 34. Mode active. And we see now our channel group is up. I'm gonna save my config, do right mem. And let's take a look at the topology now. As you see, it's turning orange, or was it orange before? But anyway, our ether channel is established. Let me go back into the other switches. First, I want to do an all right. I'm gonna do a show IP interface brief just to see what's up and what's down. As you can see, the 2 ports for our ether channel are up, and you see the one side has already turned green. All right, so that's straight. Let's go back into switch 1 and 2 and save our configuration, because that is a requirement. Because you can do all of that on the exam, but if you don't save the configuration, then they won't count it as you passing the exam. That's why they say make sure you save the configuration. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all you have to do. That completes this lab. That just finished the allowed VLAN lab. So as again, if you learn the concepts of how to configure OSPF, ERGRP, static routing, whatever, if you just learn the concepts of how to do these labs, it don't matter what the numbers are. If you learn how to do labs, you just exchange the numbers, swap the numbers, replace the numbers, add numbers. As long as you know how to configure the lab, you can still complete it. So that was one of the labs on the CCNA exam. That's actually one of the labs that I got. So in my next video, I'm going to continue to go through these CCNA labs, and I'm going to do another one that I got, which will probably be the OSP lab. So once again, thank you for watching. Grasp the concepts, and I'll see you in the next video.